I don't know how many of you guys went to college. To be honest, I kind of hope you didn't. Financially, it's kind of a scam. But if you ever did go to a campus, you would know that there are lots of international people there, right? Not just people of diverse colors and backgrounds, right? I feel like if you go to any big school, that's going to be the case. But international in the case of like, wow, this guy's from like another country. Like my first roommate when I was in college was this guy named Jing Wei. Jing Wei Shen. Yo, shout out to him. I probably shouldn't have name dropped him like that. But he he was a Chinese student from Beijing, and I went to Arizona State, so I don't know if this is like the uh the mecca of like American culture or anything, maybe for partying. Um, and hanging out with him was a very transformative time. We didn't really get along, but but that's besides the point. Like meeting him was cool, and that's not the only kind of nations that are represented. There's people from Asia, there's people from South America, and international communities in colleges are part of what makes them so cool. The girls alone, right? But of course, like everything else that's fun in America, Trump's trying to run it.
Breaking news here today at 5. The U.S. putting the brakes on student and foreign exchange visa appointments, a move that could impact thousands of international students.
Dick Brennan is following the story tonight. He's live in the newsroom with details. Dick?
Well, Jessica and Christine, this is a move that halts a basic step in the visa application process, scheduling an interview. In a cable obtained by CBS News, Secretary of State Marco Rubio instructed diplomatic posts not to add any more appointments for student and foreign exchange visas. Now, typically, students book the interview at U.S. embassies in their home countries. Officials are now developing guidance on how it screens and vets applicants for visas.
So think about this, right? So you're from another country and you're trying to make it big in America. America is very hard to get into if you're not born here, right? So these people are not only so dedicated to the United States, that is their biggest dream to just mess around over here for a couple of years, right? But also, these people are like some of the brightest of their countries. Because the United States has run the PR of being like the land of opportunity where you could go and do anything that you want. It's attracting very talented, motivated people. So by saying you can't learn here, you can't contribute here, you can't contribute to studies that are benefiting Americans, it's going to have the effect of people just getting dumber here. People are just going to be a little bit stupider in America, right? And then all the smart people are going to be more loyal to other nations, right? Because I don't know if they're going to get into this in this news clip, but China is offering to take in a lot of the students that Trump is turning away internationally. So let's say that this continues, right? And even after Trump is gone, out of office, out of this planet, right? Let's say that America stops being the hub for really highly motivated and intelligent people, and instead it's China, right? And China can influence those people with their culture and their magic and sunshine. We're going to be looking at a very different world. It's going to be the Chinese century. Just it's kind of cemented already. I don't know.
That includes the inspection of social media accounts, something the State Department already does for some students. Now, of course, this
And that's insane too, because this is supposedly like the nation of free speech. Now, let's play devil's advocate here. If someone's posting like some insane, like dangerous stuff on their social media, like advocating for violence, then maybe they shouldn't be allowed in the United States. But when they're scrubbing people's social medias, they're saying that it's because they want to, prevent terrorist sympathizers from coming in. But really, that's just code for are you criticizing Trump's foreign policy? You know what I mean? Trump is allowing Israel to run free as of this moment, and indiscriminately kill innocent Palestinians. And I guess now, if you're saying I'm not super cool with that, then you've just lost your dream of studying in America, buddy. How is that fair? How is that free? How I don't know. And I can tell like the narrative that the government is trying to push to us, or at least the Trump administration, I guess, is that okay? Only if you're born in America to American parents do your rights truly count. But that's not how it works. This is the law of the land, okay? If you step foot in America, certain rules apply to you, right? Certain rules apply to you, certain freedoms apply to you. And they're doing everything they can to just have that not be the case anymore.
This would likely drastically slow down the visa process. The instructions are part of a wider slate of controls aimed at international students.
We're going to be looking at you. I think why that would, it seems to be such a controversial thing that's going on.
This is the most Karen looking person I've ever seen. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, you already know that she's like your neighbor that will like call the cops on you for like smoking a joint on your patio. Like, in the dark by yourself. Like, you know, and she's the one telling us what the State Department is doing.
But it should.
Tammy Bruce. Gross. Your name disgusts me.
Shouldn't be.
No bullying.
And every nation should take seriously and does who's coming in. So if you're going to be applying for a visa, follow the normal process, the normal steps. Expect to be looked at and
yeah, you know, just expect to be surveilled. You know, this is the land of the free. If you come in here, we're going to scrub you. We're not going to exactly tell you what we're looking for. We're just going to let you know that we're going to vet you heavily. So be careful. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. As the representative of the State Department, very specific I am.
and we go on from there.
Now, if students already have scheduled their interview, they can still go forward. The pause will last, quote, until further guidance is issued, and that would be in the next.
Until further guidance is issued, really? Until we feel like it. This is the Trump administration we're talking about.
Few days.
Next few days.
Putting a pause on appointments for students looking to get a visa, that direct order from Secretary of State Marco Rubio was in a notice obtained by CBS News. So let's drill down on that. Rubio instructed diplomatic posts not add any more appointments for student and foreign exchange visas in preparation for what they're calling expanded vetting. And
expanded vetting. How, like, look, where are the conspiracy people, yo? Like, where are the tinfoil hat people now? You know what I mean? Where are they? What do you mean expanded vetting? You know, like, does that not ring alarm bells for people? It's like, if they're expanded vetting the immigrants, do you think they're not going to expanded vet American citizens that are maybe trying to get a federal job, or maybe just like a state job, or maybe just any job? Maybe they're just going to vet you just because. Like, you feel me? Like, maybe they're just going to vet you just because. And I feel like the only reason why they're not even starting to roll that out now is just because there hasn't really been a violent pretense that they're looking for to rapidly expand their powers. You know, if it's Donald Trump's wet dream for there to be a 9/11 tomorrow, because then he can fully secure his presidency for the rest of his life. You know, and he's just gonna keep, you know, raising the temperature. You know, this fascist temperature.
And get this, that vetting involves social media screening. So to be very specific, what that means, foreign students who want to study in the United States could be subject to having an extra set of eyes on what they say on their social media accounts.
Like, yo, you know, how many people are going to just make like fake accounts where they just glaze Trump? Like, oh yeah, like I'm here in Guadalajara with my Make America Great Again hat. You know what I mean? Video posted like 2 days ago. You know, I mean, how would the government find your real socials, yo? Like, my socials don't have my real name on it. So it's like, how would they even find me? I guess they could, like, you know, I guess they could do their research and really like vet me and like get some background information on me. But isn't that kind of like a waste of our resources and stuff? You know, I don't know. Most of the people that come to America as immigrants aren't really stirring a whole lot of trouble. You know, they're just not.
In fact, according to the State Department, the additional check could have significant implications for embassies and consulates operations. Now, the pause is expected to last until further guidance is issued, to use their language. So here's what the current process looks like for international students who want to study in the U.S.
Typically required to schedule interviews at an American embassy. Wait times vary widely. And at most embassies, appointments can be scheduled less than 2 months in advance.
Typically, they are required to schedule interviews at an American embassy or consulate in their home country. The average wait time can vary from 2 to 16 months.
Jesus.
At most embassies, appointments can be scheduled less than 2 months in advance. But again, That depends on the post. So when asked if foreign students should be concerned about visas being processed in time for the
Yo, if you're in another country, I would say maybe just look at Canada. Honestly, like they have a reasonable leader. Like it's unpredictable. Like, you know what I mean? He can change his mind overnight, and that's coming from an American. Like I don't, you know, he's changing his mind overnight for stuff that involves us. So you guys are just pawns. Like don't even come to America. You're better places that deserve you more.
next semester, or even those social media scrubs. The State Department spokesperson had this to say. Listen.
And we don't speak about individual visa cases. We don't speak about the nature of the choices made about individuals.
Why not? Why not? We elected you, right? Like, aren't you a public servant? Why aren't you speaking on that, right? You know, I get not wanting to spill the beans on like classified secrets or whatever, but let's not pretend like that's what this is. We're talking about like 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, you know, people trying to come and better their lives, the farthest away from criminals. You know what I mean? The farthest away from criminals, the farthest away from like operatives and stuff. Like they're willing to put their lives on the line, all their money on the line, just to come learn some American stuff. You know, so I think we're allowed to know. And also, too, it's like you're saying, oh, we're doing this to protect the American people. Can we at least know the people that are this threat that you're claiming, Tammy?
We do know, though, that we take very seriously the process of vetting who it is that comes into the country. And we're going to continue to do that.
We take very seriously who we vet to come into the country, but like the Tate brothers are literally seeking asylum here pretty much. You know what I mean? While they have the SA charges in Europe, you know, they weren't vetted too closely. Why is that the case? I don't know.
That we're going to continue to vet, and we continue to have an interest. And again, whether they be student or if you're a tourist who needs a visa or
tourists aren't going to come here. They're not going to come here. Like, why would they? I mean, look, and again, will they still come here? I'm sure some will, because America is just a vacation destination. I mean, if Paris, France banned the color blue, you know what I mean? If they catch you wearing the color blue, they throw you in jail. I'm still going to want to see the Eiffel Tower. Like, sure, especially if that was like my dream. Maybe not the Eiffel Tower specifically. That's not my dream city personally. But you get what I'm saying, yo. So people will still come here just because they want to experience American culture that they see on TV and stuff. But anyone with a brain or anyone that's been here before, or anyone that's just pissed off based on how unfairly the world has been treated by this administration, wouldn't dare come here. They're not going to give money to our economy. They don't want to be associated with us.
or whoever you are, we're going to be looking at you. I think why that would, it seems to be such a controversial thing that's going on. But it shouldn't be, and every nation should take seriously and does who's coming in. So if you're going to be applying for a visa, follow the normal process, the normal steps. Expect to be looked at.
That's why your nose and your mouth are a mile apart, fool. But yeah, I don't know. It's like it's just gonna lead to a brain drain in the United States. It's happened in Iran, for instance, which, you know, if you ever read Persepolis, I feel like that's kind of like where our country is going, where, you know, the zealots have completely taken over because the bureaucrats in charge before mismanaged everything, despite, you know, leading us to general prosperity. And now we're just going to have to let the chickens come home to roost and find out what happens when we tell all the smart people in the world, you're not welcome here, you know? So let's find out.